Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of Smith and Black, and it's time for the Strat Time Report. So, J Pow talking up a storm here and not helping the market here. So, once again, we're starting off the new month. Doji in the middle. How are we going to get out of that? All right, really important because you can see on the daily back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right. So, just kind of chopping them up, and here on the here, let's go to a 30. On the 30 minute, you're going to see this: the slight gap up, and then boom, 2-2 reversal right here. 2 up, 2 down in the SPY, and a nice move there. Now we got a new 60 here. If we go back to our 60, now it's an inside 60, right? So how do we get out of this? So here's the broadening formation as we know it, right, on this 60. So the question is going to be weak enough to come down here and give us an outside day or compound and do it tomorrow. But we got plenty of day left here. So, but aware of that inside 60 and aware of the new 60. You can see they're popping it up right on the new 60. Right? That's why you always want to keep an eye on that flip. The bottom of the hour, you can see a tone change right there as soon as that happens. If you go to QQQ, and Q's just got rocked right out the chute too, closer to being an outside day, and you see not really popping up as much as the SPY. SPY's already coming in. So it looks like they're doing a feeble attempt to try and rally back. Mind these 60s. Because remember, we tried to take that week, and we're back into that range. Doji on the month again. How are you going to get out of there? We want to know. If we go to diamonds, the Dow Jones Diamonds now also inside on the 60, right? And did try and take that hammer out too. It's still green on the week, but Doji on the month. How are we going to get out of this? And back and forth we go in here again, all right? If you go to small cappers, small cappers were weak right out the chute, couldn't even take out these other highs, all right? And so small cappers come down here, and I'll tick that down and that. Yeah, that's a 2 down, so it wasn't strong enough to take out that high. Still, once again, Doji on the month. How do we get out of here? And until you do, you get this kind of chop on the week, back and forth. And that's why you'll hear me say, especially in this environment, like every hour is a new day to us. I mean, back and forth, back and forth. If they are rotating into something, here's XLU. Find some utilities. All right, get me some yield, boy. Outside week by taking out both sides, which means this selling was rejected when it came back through. And then, boop, 3-2 coming back up. And if that works, you might take out the month. This was an inside month. This would be a RevStrat month in the XLU above 64.28. I mean 69.46. 69.46. So you're right there setting up the RevStrat month for utilities. Utilities here, you can coming up on the day real nice. So we'll see how that goes. And if you go to the 30, here's how you get in on something that's moving. Wait for them to triangle day out. They will. 2 down hammer takes these guys out. Boom, and then off to the races she goes. That's how you do that. Okay. Other things they're doing. We're going in some retail here, folks. The new high list is actually picking up here right now as we're taking the 60s to the upside. So you've got the Walmart taking out last week's highs, coming back through here. Still inside on the month, but if you can take that out, then you'd have a reversal month. You have your inside day to the upside in the Walmart, and off she goes. How's our 60 looking? Just a little grindy on the 60. If we go to Dollar Tree, or should I say dollar and a quarter tree, yeah, inflation, man. Give me the poor guys. But here they are rallying, folks, in these 60s. And Dollar Tree taking the week and trying to get out of these 3 months that are inside of here. But somebody said something good. Looks like inside 60 break, simultaneous break to the upside on the 60s. Right as I speak. You see? Q's to a lesser extent. Diamonds, 2-1-2 reversal on the 60. So now we can mine that 60 for the rest of the 60 and look for entries on stuff like that. If you go to Tractor Supply, more retail. And Tractor Supply, TSCO. Nice recovery off the lows. There's your daily 2 down, 2-2 reversal. And just marching up here, and if that works, running out a week, but take this out, 213.51, which you did, and that's a 2-2 reversal in the week. Still inside of the month like a lot of things. If we go to Kroger, And Kroger just gets stuck in here a little bit on that 60, trying to get out of here, but you can see that nice inside mount to the upside, just some exhaustion risk after this gap. But it was already triggering the week. 2 down, 2 up, and then boom, off she goes. If you go to ACI, inside month to the upside and some more room because you got this outside month here. You see? There's your broadening formation. Then they tried to take it down, so there's a delayed 3-2-2. The 3-2-1-2 back up through the old 3 and having a real nice day. Just kind of gunning here, but if you go to a 30, see this. The inside 30 right there. Gone. If we go to some of the rails, Union Pac having a nice little day. So even though you had that morning debacle in the futures, there's always want to see the things that can stay near the highs. You can see this inside 60 right here, right? If that works, it's an inside month. Yep, inside month to the upside as well. Norfolk Southern to a lesser extent at this point, but holding these 60s in here, and does take the week here. 2 down, 2 up. A little more room to take that. CSX, I think, was coming up here as well. CSX trying to take that directional 60 right into here, so we'll see, because that here can take the 3 outside month, 2 down, 3-2-2 above 35.41 and a half, and then you can start working this broadening formation here. So you just want to stay out of here and keep going. Market firming up, and that's why I say mind the flip. Inside 60s on the SPY, 2-1-2 reversal, right? You've seen it live. If we go to Splunk, and Splunk backing off now. It is inside on the 60. You can see this chop shop in here, right? But it did gap up and tried to hold. Now just backs off a little bit. On the monthlies, you really would like to get outside of these 3 guys right here and then stay out, because this is an outside month. If we go to McKesson, MCK having a nice little day, and there's your RevStrat week. Inside week, poke down, boop, takes it out. See if you can go to new highs on the month, having a nice little day. Just want to stay out of all this stuff once you break out of that. If you go to little guy KLXE, had a nice little push here in the morning. And now we'll see how that holds. And there's your hammer counter shooter on the week. Boom. And off she goes. And you can see it's been a lot higher in the past. So that's good. You took a bunch of these guys out on the stops. But we'll see. Nice inside day. And up she goes. See if we get a 60 or a 30 in here. Right now it's trying to go up inside and up off the 30. Okay. Right here. Inside and up off the 30. KLXE. If you go to CNQ, now just kind of stalling out a little bit, but had a nice push on the opening right here. So when everything else was collapsed and it was going up, that always gets my attention. Just a little exhaustion risk by going into the recent highs, or the new highs I should say. Then you go these boys, Arch Resources, and taking that week, just going to exhaustion risk. We talked about this yesterday because it's nice green, so we look to see it, and then we want to see if those buyers come back. They did. Then you wait for what? Triangle the out here. 2 down, 2 up, and back off she goes. If you go to BTU, and BTU also yesterday had a nice day and still having a nice day. And look at that week. Yeah, real nice. And taking out the monthly highs, just looking for those nice and greeners. This is nice if you can pick something like this. You can see takes real tight chop shop, tries to take them up, stop them all out on this, the 2-2 down, and then the slight gapper, and then here's your 2-2 reversal back up, 2 down, 2 up. Now the broadening formation has gotten bigger, and now it's expanding. All right, how's that 60 looking? And just kind of stuck there. Let's see, AMR. And AMR also having a nice week here, just exhaustion risk by going into the highs, and you can see that looks like an inside 60 here. Or if you go down to the 30 here, triangle the out, RevStrat, 1, 2, off she goes. If you go to ZIM, and ZIM just kind of getting stuck here on the 60, but it was having a nice little day, and does go hammer counter shooter week to take these guys out, and I will see if it's going to be strong enough to take that out. On the downside, I got this disaster du jour, Snow. And Snow Gaps down, just kind of sitting there for now and chopping around, but you can see you can scalp a little bit here when you had your 30. Takes out those highs and then boom, right there. 2-2 reversal, and you mind the flip and just bring her in and cover it right there. Vive also has some problems, not really getting any good entries. I don't see. I think it's been pretty grindy on this thing. Yeah, a little grindy. Had a little 15er going down there. Could use a little triangle out there. All right, market backing off now, whatever that news was. But it's certainly a nice pop to get something out of that 60. And then we can see if they rev strat them back down, because we've got MongoDB crushed. Crushed. And here you go on the 15er. If you go to here, you can see this. The outside 15, the inside, the 3-1-2 to the downside. Now just spiked with the market here. We'll see what more comes of that. It was pretty fast, as you can see. Maybe we get some 60s out of that later, because you're taking out last week's lows and last month's lows. That gets my attention. It's just exhaustion risk, because you can see the slight higher high, and then boom, down she goes. So there's your broadening formation, high and high, lower low. We go to DRI. And DRI having a tough one here. And you can see this inside day to the downside. A little bit more to take this stuff out, and if it does, you can go after the inside month, 3-1-2 month here. That's going to be below 134.15. All right, market's selling off the fiver, and so when you get spikes in volatility, you can go down to smaller time frames. So if you got that 60 break, right, then you can just take it when you go 5 back down and see if it sets up again. Right, so there's lots to do in busy town. Bitcoiners coming in today. Coinbase looks like taking an inside day to the downside, still inside on the month. And you can see this on the 5-minute. How when things start to chop around sit, you get your 5-minute broadening formation like so. You see? And this thing was still weak. And there's your 2 up, 2 down, and coming right back through. All right? Because if we go back to the SPY for a second, on the 5-minute, and then blow it up, we knew about this broadening formation yesterday. Here. And this is where it's too tight. You can get killed in here. Right? Then they gap them up and chop them around. But on the 5-minute here, if you wait for the triangle out, 2 up, boom, 2 down. 2 down, 2 up, boom, down they go. And so that's how you jump in on some of this stuff. But we'll go back to the 60s here and get you some more pukers. So, shrink this back down for you. Okay, we got net. And we're looking for the hammer counter shooter. Didn't get it, and back down she goes. And you can see this thing just getting lumped. And it was a little quick, but this is a slight 2 up. Right back down she goes. Go to a 30. There's your 60 too fast. Go to the 30. Here's your inside 30 to the downside. All right. If we go to Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza. And just a nice little inside day to the downside. And that's an outside day 3-1-2. We're looking to take this out of what this market can weaken for us. But right now, it's kind of sitting there on the inside 60. Slightly ticks up on that. So keep an eye on these 2-hour ranges when this 60 closes out. If we go to GitLab having a rough one and an inside day to the downside, as you can see. Been a little quick on the way down, but we'll see if that sets up again too. If we go to Okta having a day here, puker, that's a little fast, but coming back in, and we always want to see where we're going to close out on the week, right, as we get to the end of the week, because if it starts closing down in here, you're closer to a 2 down, 2 up, 2 down to become an outside bar of that week, and if that works, you go take out that month, the downside, right? So got to be very leery of this outside day here for this thing, all right? So we'll see it's firming up a little bit with the market here. This market's trying to reset up on that 60, we'll see. If we go to Boeing, and Boeing, so I'm going along here, inside day to the downside, still stuck in this month, but we'll see if we can take any of that out. Okay, looks like I'm getting way behind here. How about just a couple more? Bumble, Ow. Ow. And this thing is just exhaustion risk by keep continually going into the lows. But it did its job, and here's your triangle layout on that. Daily, 2 up, boom, 2 down, back to a previous range, and back to an old outside bar. These then become the outside bar of that. You see? Spotify. And Spotify. Here, potential outside week to the downside. And still backing off. How's the 15er? Okay. So we'll see. Now that market's coming in, so we can look for those potential rev strats on the 60s. You got that initial push, which is nice, but then they start coming right back in, right, on the 15. So we want to see when this new 15 closes out at the top of the hour, which side do we take? Because we want to see if that 60 break re-breaks to the upside or sets up the rev strat to the downside. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Russ Fitz, Mr. Black. Strat Time Report.